All right, hey, let's go.
All right. Hey, let's put in gear. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Road Noise. We're, I feel like, Dad, we've at some point just stopped completely with the whole notion of a season. We're on technically season six, and we're several episodes, 20 some episodes deep into season six. And season six kind of represents just a non-linear approach to just kind of reflecting back on these stories. So Dad's been cherry picking stories that are maybe relevant to the season we're in, or maybe just what might be going on in our own lives, or ones that are just for fun. So I'm looking forward to where we're headed tonight. But Dad, before we jump in, I just want to just mention to our friends here that uh, Giving Tuesday is coming up, and I'm guessing that Just Kidding and Goliath Spear are probably accepting donations, probably around that time of year.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Uh, the truth of the matter is, we've been accepting donations ever since January 1st for this year.
yeah.
But for those that have waited till the end, and we're coming up on Giving Tuesday, so yes. And so if anyone is looking to do something like that, those funds would be greatly appreciated.
Yep. And check the link wherever you're hearing this or watching this. Check for a link either in the comment section or in the posting, and you'll find an easy way to make a donation.
We try to make it easy, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, with that, where are we
Yeah.
headed tonight, Dad?
Well, I tell you, if we had some really nice, generous donations, stories like tonight's, well, I wouldn't say they wouldn't exist, but if they did, they'd certainly have a different twist. Now, I was thinking I could probably write a book about all the vehicles that we've owned and the problems that we've had with some of these ancient vehicles. We've never owned a new one, but everything we've owned has always been paid for. So we haven't had any car payments, but we have driven some real junkers over the years, and that's kind of this where this story comes from, is with one of those precious jewels that we were driving back in the day. And just kind of prefaces this a little bit by saying this was one of those days when there weren't any cell phones. A similar situation today would be slightly different because I've got a cell phone in my pocket and you could call for help. But how many times have we been broken down somewhere along the side of the road? Or in this case, I was on my way to do a meeting. I was by myself, so it was going to be a Just Kidding meeting at a church. And I noticed that, okay, I'm going to be needing gas before I get there. And I knew exactly where I was at. And the exit that was coming up, I knew there was a gas station there because that previous summer we had done a vacation Bible school where you take that same exit, and the truth of the matter is the gas station was only a couple of blocks from the church. Well, anyway, so I knew where I was going and that there would be a gas station there. So I take the exit, head straight to the gas station, pull in, fill up with gas. Now I'm ready to hit the road. I mean, I've got a meeting to do, so I got to get back on the road. So I get back in the driver's seat and I turn the key, and all it does is turn over and 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 over. It doesn't even try to start. And it's like, oh, come on. I mean, I've got a program to do. I got to get back on the road. And I try it again and over and over and over and over. And it's like, okay, I don't know what the problem is. Here I am. I'm on the road. I don't have any tools with me. Like I said, no cell phone. What am I supposed to do now? I have no idea what the problem is. But okay, obviously the problem must be under the hood. So let's raise the hood, and hopefully there will be a sign that will have a circle and an arrow pointing that says, this is what the problem is. Okay, so I pop the hood, I stick my head in there, and I'm looking all over for this sign, and there's no such sign anywhere. Nothing that tells me, look here, this is the problem. And so it's like, I'm just standing there. I have no idea what to do. So I pull my head back out from underneath the hood and I hear my name. And it's like, who or, I mean, and I look over to my left and there's the pastor of the church that we had done Bible school at that past summer. And he says, yeah, Sheldon, I thought that looked like you. What's going on? So he comes on over and I tell him, I'm on my way to a meeting tonight and, I needed gas. I took this exit and I got the gas, but it says it won't start. It won't do a thing. It just turns over and over. And he looks at me and he says, I'll pray for you. And turn around and leaves, gets back in his car and he's gone.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there trying to figure something out. I'm trying to decide, did this really just happen? Or did I just imagine that I saw this guy? I mean, silly me, I'm thinking, what happened with, wow, Sheldon, I don't know what the problem is either, but let me run back to the church. It's just a couple of blocks away, and I'll call a guy here at the church. Maybe he could help you. Well, that wasn't said. Or, Sheldon, I don't know what the problem is, but let me run back to the church and I'll call a wrecker for you. Or, Sheldon, I don't know what the problem is, but tell you what, let me help you push it and let's at least get it away from the pump so that other people can fill up their car. But that wasn't part of the conversation either. All he said is, I'll pray for you, and he's gone. And so I'm standing there still not knowing what the problem is, but a verse in the Bible came to my mind. James chapter 2, verse 16. If one of you says to him, go, I wish you well, keep warm and well fed, but does nothing to help his physical needs, what good is it? You don't know how many times I have stopped if I see somebody along the side of the road, and now it's a little easier at least. I'll pull up and roll the window down and just say, do you need some help? And most of the time, especially today, they've got a cell phone and they say, no, I already called a wrecker. They'll be here, any minute, or I've got a friend coming or whatever, or at least I've got my phone. I could call somebody. And I've stopped so many times, and I've probably stopped when maybe I shouldn't have, but I just can't be zooming by thinking, okay, I'll just pray for them. If somebody stopped, there's a need there. I'm not a mechanic, but at least now I have a cell phone, or back in the day, I'll drive on up here, and when I find a place to stop, I'll call somebody for you. But I think as Christians, we do have a responsibility when we see people with physical needs to, okay, yes, we do need to pray for them. But boy, there's times when we need to be the hands and the feet of Jesus, and we need to come alongside of them and say, hey, let me help you push it out of the way so the people waiting in line can get their gas. At least do something. So anyway, I was there for a while, but after about 20 minutes, I turned the key and it started. Only thing I can think of is God must have heard Pastor's prayer and mine.
Yeah. Prayer worked.
Prayer worked. Anyway, so I did get out of there in time and I made my destination, but it was a little frustrating just to hear those words from somebody that I thought, you could have been a little more help than that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, live to tell about it.
Yep. Yeah. But what a great reminder, though, that, yeah, if you've got an ability to meet a need and that need's right in front of you, you've got an obligation. I think it's clear too that we're going to be held accountable for the poor choices we made in life, and that includes the things where we just willfully disobeyed, and for the times that we had an opportunity to do something good for the world and we refused to do it.
Yeah. You know, we had a car one time that tried to tell me a joke,
Uh-oh.
but it stalled.
Oh,
Uh,
it's still.
I don't know, but personally, I think he was just exhausted.
Mm,
It was a nice car. It was a nice car, but it was always tired. Okay, that's as far as I'm going.
when you when you first teed that up, I almost thought you were going to make a family joke, being married to a car, but that yeah,
Uh,
if you didn't catch that car reference, go back a conversation ago and listen to last week's. Mom and Dad shared how they shared their testimony. So
yeah, last week was that special,
yeah,
100th podcast
yep,
version episode, was it?
yep.
Yeah, so
All
yeah,
right. Well,
that's
hey,
worth listening to.
yeah, absolutely. Well, it seems like maybe a good place to park it, and we'll pick it up again next week.
Sounds good to me.